Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولتكن منكم أمة يدعون إلى الخير ويأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر وأولئك هم المفلحون. وبعد. My beloved brothers and sisters, we begin by expressing words of gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who have created us, guides us, protects us, sustains us, and has promised those among us who obey Him and worship Him and live their lives trying their best within their capacities to do right by Allah, that Allah has promised us ajran kabira, a mighty reward. I want to begin today's khutbah by thanking every single one of you for your commitment, your sacrifices, your willingness to participate, your attendance here to the community, and all the numerous things that you do to make this community viable, functional, successful. You see, ever since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned, and I mentioned the ayah, وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ, that Allah tells us, let there arise from among you a group that calls to that which is good and enjoins right and righteousness and forbids evil and wickedness, that these are the successful ones. Ever since Allah has told us we need to organize a group, an ummah, as He mentioned. Muslims have everywhere they have gathered, organized themselves into communities, into masajids, into organizations, because they understood that this command from Allah is that we cannot practice Islam isolated, alone by ourselves. That part of the way in which Islam gets implemented in the life is through communities and groups. A lot of the ayats in the Quran, Allah speaks to the group. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. He does not speak to the individual. Even in Surah Al-Fatiha, when we are individual asking Allah, we say, Iyaka na'budu. Thee alone do we. We speak on behalf of the group. And for groups to function, it required an extraordinary amount of people doing little things. And so in our community, we have someone who, before you even arrived here, have laid out these carpets and vacuumed these rugs. Before you even come here, there's another person who's cooking food so that we can have a meal outside. When you arrive at the gate, there is someone as security out there. There's people teaching classes. There's a school going on here. There are people, so many people, doing small things to make this community what it is. When we have breakfast program, those sisters get up at early morning cooking those bara and all of that things. We arrive at 9:30 to just witness a plethora of delicious meals. Sometimes not even asking who made them and where they come from. So I want to thank you, because even if you just show up on Fridays, you have become part of the solution. You are part of what makes this community work. If you consider yourself a Muslim, you are part of the solution, and you are what makes this work. You are one of the heroes that makes our community viable. And a lot of times we don't have time to go around to mention the names of all of us and the little things we do. There's somebody here who buries the dead for us and bathes the janazah. There's someone who comes and gives the khutbah every Friday. We even have a brother who, when you walk in and you meet him, he has perfume and he perfumes your hands. This is his way of making a difference, of making a contribution. Each person, we have one brother who used to feed the cats in the compound. Every one of us finds a way to express thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and becomes part of the dynamic of what makes communities work. And so I want to thank you, begin by thanking you for your services, your sacrifices, and every one of us matter and we count. And it's really important to understand that. There is no insignificant Muslim. The fact that Allah has selected you and guided you to Al-Islam makes you an extremely special person. Because there are billions and millions out there who Allah did not select to guide to Islam. So even though you may sit here and think you don't matter much, that you are insignificant, the reality is the contribution of each and every one of us is what makes all the programs. We just heard another program is going to be organized this Friday. All of these things require manpower, require brain power. We have our leadership, our executive committee spends hours planning to keep this ship afloat. And oftentimes we don't get anyone showing appreciation. So I want to tell you that it is appreciated, it is noticed, it is important, because you have responded to the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And let me say, the communities in America and all over the world, they are not organized by scholars. They are not organized by very learned people. It's ordinary Muslims. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, إِنَّمَا يَعْمُرُ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ مَنْ آمِنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَأَقَامَ الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَى الزَّكَاةَ وَلَمْ يَخْشَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. When Allah talks to the people who maintain these communities, He says, verily, the masajids of Allah are maintained, visited, decorated, organized by people who, and look at the qualities Allah mentioned, who believe in Allah in the last day, who make their salah, who pay their zakah, and who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ulama is not mentioned here. People who believe in Allah on the last day, and they make their salah, and they break their zakah, and they have a healthy fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the people who Allah says are the maintainers of these communities. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things by their individual expression of thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so when one asks you, what can I do? Tell them we are doing. We have done and will continue to do. And as we build these communities, there is a reality though that I want you to understand. And that is, yes, we have this hall, we have the Jumu'ah, we have the school, we have all of these services. But we have a Muslim community that is still struggling and finding it difficult. They have among us the elderly people, the seniors. Very few Muslim communities and masajids have any programs for the elderly. A lot of them sit there isolated, lonely, have lost their friends. There's no recreational program for them. There's no social program for them. A lot of times they need a right to come to the masjid. It's not organized. And so we have this group of people, and people are living longer. And so one of the realities that we've got to grapple with is how do we make sure that our seniors enjoy the rest of their life, not sit at home waiting to die. So part of the responsibility of the community is to help and to organize healthy programs for seniors. We have our young professionals who, a lot of them, they studied hard, they have a good job, but then they get absorbed into pursuing their dunya life and they neglect being involved in the community. They have incredible talent and so much to share, but we can't find a way to move them to come over and spend a little time with the community and share their gifts with them. We have the young people who are living in a world that is so confusing for them. It is fascinating to me to see this identity issue, where now it's okay to identify yourself as a dog, as a lion. They have kids dressing up in school as a lion and going to school, and when the teacher asks, what is you doing? He said, I identify as a lion. Our young people, with the influx of social media confusing their minds. You ask the Muslim cemetery how often they're burying young people who are committing suicide. We have a young group of young people, teenagers, who don't know whether they're going or coming. And it is a responsibility of our community to help them. Atheism is confusing them. We have families. The divorce rate among Muslims, which we used to take pride in, has now matched the national average of 50%. Our marriages are breaking up. There's abuse in the home, husband and wife. There's a dilemma of how I parent my child. What do I do? How do I bring up a righteous child in America? It's very difficult issues. And they're present right now among our community. And so part of the responsibility of this community is to help that. We have a lot of people coming into Islam. And the single most important need of a new Muslim is to have an emotional, social group that could help them acclimatize into the Muslim community. It is not so much learning. They need support because their relatives may have disbanded them. So when new Muslims come, the most important thing they need is for us to be by their side, to be part and help them to navigate this difficult process of leaving one religion to another. We have to create those things where they can have a safe space and come and ask their questions and have their problems resolved. We have to provide services, more educational services, more social services, more recreational services in our community to help our people. We have a crisis with the 6-year-old to the 10-year-old kids. We truly don't have a real remarkable program to help those kids between 6 to 10. Their most crucial years. We've got to develop dynamic programs where when a child in a home at 6 years of age to 10, by that period, should have not only almost learned to speak Arabic, memorize so much Quran, learn everything, all the basic foundation principles of their deen, because you work with the parents from home. We've got to create those. So all of these exist as issues pending, waiting to be tackled. And so, when we look at all of this, we need to ask ourselves another question. Not what can I do? This is the question that is most important, and I hope you wouldn't forget this question. I want you to leave this Jumu'ah today asking yourself this question every single day. This is the question that gets shaitan perked up and worried. And it's 5 words. What more can I do? What more can I do? You see, a lot of us, we begin to strive and then we make some contribution and we settle down for status quo and we don't do anything else. When you ask the question, what more can I do? Shaitan will come to you. Because that is a question that requires you to add to what you're doing, to add more to your goodness. Because you're saying, what more can I do? Shaitan will come to you most certainly. Because he doesn't want you to leave your status quo and to become better. And so he will visit you. And you will hear yourself saying, what are you thinking about? What more can you do? You're not qualified. You don't even have time. You're sickly. You know, people are going to laugh at you. You have enough on your back already. How do you mean you're going to do more? And all of these things come to us to deter us into thinking that we can't do anything more. But the reality is all of us can do twice as much we're doing right now. You see, part of the problem we have is there's a brother over here who's sitting that needs some financial help, and there's a brother over here who's sitting who can help that brother. There's a patient over there sick, and there's a doctor over here who can solve his problem. There's a sister looking to somebody to teach her child Quran, and there's another sister at the other end of the room who is looking for students to teach. But there's no connection because we are not making the commitment to join the community. You've got to sign up and become members of the community. In the masjid here, it costs $1.68 a month to become a member. $20 a year. When you become a member, that means we have your name, we have your contact number. You are able to be provided when things are happening, when there is needy causes, when something, you can know and you can say, yeah, I can help that one. You'll be informed of what is happening. So we've got to commit to a community, whether this masjid or our next masjid or wherever. But do not remain living lives not connected to an Islamic community. Become involved. Take that step. So shaitan will come and try to tell you, don't do anything more. You're safe, brother. You're safe, sister. You're doing enough. Anytime you buy into that idea that I'm doing enough, you have lost the game. You see, when you say, what more can I do? You're talking about growth. You're talking about volunteering. You're talking about making a further difference. You're talking about showcasing your talent. And when you volunteer, Allah blesses you with experience. When you teach, you learn. You get something in return. But for this to happen, for people to step forward with their projects, their ideas, their contributions, the community's leadership must also be open to welcoming them. See, when two kids came to the Prophet ﷺ and they said, we want to participate in the battle, the Prophet didn't turn to them and say, you're too young. He said, you all wrestle, and whoever wins, I'll select him. When the blind man Abdullah ibn Maktoum radiallahu anh came and he said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm tired, I'm blind, I'm tired not participating in the battle. Can you allow me to go there? And the Prophet looked at him and he says, I'll tell you why, Ya Rasulullah. He thought about his case and he said, I am blind. If you allow me to hold the flag in the front of the army, I would not see the enemy coming. So I will not be scared. I will not move. Whereas if a person who has eyes holds that flag, they will be terrified. And when they see that army coming, they may run, they may lose it. I am actually more qualified to hold this position. Please allow me to do it. He died holding that flag to the last breath. But the Prophet ﷺ allowed him to bring his project. There was a young man, 19 years, Osama bin Zaid. Prophet put him in head of the army. And so the masjid has to, I can't tell you how many times young people have come to me and said, I made a lot of ideas and suggestions to the masjid, but they all shut it down. It's always, no, you can't do this, you can't do it now, you can't do it, you're not quite. We've got to be more open to allowing the young professionals, the young people, to bring their ideas, to bring their projects, and work with them to make them a reality. We have so much talent sitting on these floors. So much. And there's a lot of us want to do more, but we may not know how to. First step, join a community. Secondly, go to the leadership of that community, president, imam, and says, this is my talent. This is what I can offer. That's the minimal you can do. If they take up your offer or not, at least you have done your job. But every day, each one of us, because Allah has blessed us so much and He continues to bless us, you have to get up every day and say to yourself, what more can I do today? What more can I do today? You're sitting on the Jumu'ah, you have to ask yourself, what more can I do before the next Jumu'ah? For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what more can I do? That is the most critical question you can ask yourself, because it breeds in us an activist mentality. Someone who's not stagnant. When you say what more, it means I'm not even worrying what I'm giving right now. I gave $1 last week. What more can I do today? I'm putting $2 in that box. Last week I came into the Jumu'ah and I didn't smile for the whole period because somebody messed with me before I came to the Jumu'ah. And I was a little upset. This Jumu'ah, I'm wearing a bright smile. What more can I do? Simple things that we can do. When each of us asks, what more can I do? It opens up for us a whole world. And it's actually the essence of what we are asked to do. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all of those problems I mentioned to you will be solved by us. Because each of us will step up. Says, I'm a doctor. Tell me who is sick. I will help. I'm an engineer. This is what I can do. I'm a landscaping person. One of the beautiful things about this masjid and our community, when I was the imam, there were people who will come up to me and says, Imam, if you know anybody in need, let me know. When the masjid carpet looked like it was getting old, brother came up and says, I would like to sponsor a new carpet. We have within us extremely amazingly generous people. But you still have to ask yourself, what more can I do? There was nothing that I asked from the community that they didn't give. If we needed a new blackboard, a whiteboard, whatever it is, brothers will come out of the woodwork and says, I'll take care of that. So we're halfway there, but we've got to connect ourselves and we've got to ask that question, what more can I do? What more can I do? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspire hearts to do more each and every day. That He mentions, for example, if you continue to be grateful to Allah, Allah will give you more. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to do more and more each and every day of our lives. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر لي ولكم. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده ونشهد ان محمدا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار. What more can I do? What more can I do? What more can I do? Write it, paste it on your wall above your bedroom. Do not forget the phrase. What more can I do? You will annoy shaitan and make him uncomfortable because he doesn't want you to ask this question. Please don't forget it when you leave the door. ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم وأقيموا الصلاة.